Good morning and good afternoon, everyone, for people logging in from different time zones. And thank you for joining us. I'm Divyanshu Bhushan, business head at To The New. We'll spend the next hour on a very practical question. What does Agentic AI mean when you have to run it in production, safely, governably, and at a scale in 2026? The buzz around this topic is incredible, and over 700 people have registered. This shows the interest and the excitement. A quick note, we'll share live demonstrations today. The intent is to show patterns and practical approaches. We will also open the floor for questions at the end of the session. Please note any questions you may have, and we'll be happy to answer them live. Before we start, a quick intro about To The New. We are a digital technology services company providing innovative product engineering solutions to diverse industries worldwide. We design and build digital platforms with cloud, data, and AI as the main pillars. We have around 2,200 plus people across India, Australia, Southeast Asia, North America, and EMEA, with our headquarters in Singapore. Our work spans building and designing digital platforms, modernizing systems, and operationalizing AI in real enterprise environments. Our focus in GenAI has been consistent. How do you move from isolated pilots to orchestrated governed systems that create measurable outcomes? That will be the theme of today's conversations. Why 2026 is a turning point? Over the past 2 years, GenAI moved from curiosity to capability. Most enterprises have experimented and many have piloted. Now the expectation is changing. AI is not just generating content or answering questions. It's starting to reason, coordinate, and act across workflows with humans firmly in control. Harvard Business Review made a useful analogy in Jan 2026. When electricity first arrived in companies and factories, initially replaced the system steam engine with an electric motor and kept the old layout, which provided gains, but those were very marginal. Real transformation required redesigning the factory for the new capability. Similarly, the value of agentic AI requires redesigning workflows and operating models beyond adding a chatbot. For this conversation today, I am joined by a few people from the industry. Today, I have Gautam Jha. Gautam is a partner development specialist in Amazon Web Services. He has 20 plus years of experience and works across technology segments. He is a technology enthusiast and helps partners in India build and expand their businesses on emerging technologies, especially in data and GenAI. Himani Gupta, Associate Director and GenAI Lead at To The New. Himani brings over a decade of experience in leading complex technology programs and is currently driving GenAI initiatives across the organization. She works closely with teams and clients to translate emerging AI capabilities into practical production-ready solutions. Ankit Verma is GenAI architect at To The New. Ankit works closely with business and engineering teams to turn generative AI from promising ideas into practical production-ready solutions. With experience across domains, he specializes in building reliable, cost-aware AI systems using RAG, multi-agent orchestration, and strong evaluation guardrails. Lastly, Nitin is a skilled data engineer with about 11 years of experience. He specializes in building and managing data pipelines, working with modern data technologies, and delivering scalable and data solutions. He also works as NLP expert, applying AI techniques to analyze and process human language for intelligent applications. Thank you for joining us today. I'm sure your insights and guidance will resonate with our audience from multiple countries across Asia and ANZ. But before we get started, let's have a quick poll to understand the current challenges with agentic AI. And we will try to address these during the course of session. You should see a poll on your screen. We'll give some time for audiences to mark their responses. I am seeing a lot of responses coming in. We'll give another 30 seconds for the responses before we move forward. It's a very important question. Where is your organization currently facing the biggest challenge with agentic or advanced AI adoption? Okay. Thank you for your responses. And as expected, we are seeing the majority challenges center around identifying the right use cases and moving from pilots to production at scale. With that in mind, I'll call upon Gautam for a quick chat and understand his perspective on various questions that a lot of enterprises and organizations are currently looking at from an agentic AI perspective. Gautam, several recent industry articles discuss long running AI agents embedded in knowledge work, not just chat interfaces. For CIOs across India, SC, and ANZ, what's the simplest enterprise definition of agentic AI? And what technical changes have made it feel more real now?
Yeah, first of all, thanks Divyanshu and the TTN team for having me here. It's my privilege to share my thoughts with such a large and a completely aware audience. Coming to your question, I think of agentic AI as your enterprise's first, goal-driven digital catalog. So it's not usually a chatbot only. Okay, it's not something which can just help you retrieve certain information, but a complete system in itself. Usually at AWS, we normally define AI agent as a semi-autonomous or autonomous software system. Okay, that has different capabilities. Okay, that has a capability to use memory reasoning. It has a capability to plan, a particular objective into multiple steps, and then execute those steps one by one or in parallel most of the time. And with all that, it nearly emulates what a human can do in a day-to-day environment, such as talking to different tools, such as planning, reasoning, doing complex calculations, and after doing all that, to arrive at a certain result, which again it has a capability to check whether that result is satisfactory from an accuracy perspective or not. So this whole thing encompasses what we call as agentic AI solution. Now, what has changed in the last 2 or 3 years? A couple of things. One is, first of all, the models have got dramatically better in terms of chain of thoughts, in terms of reasoning. So slowly we have started giving a higher level objectives to the foundation models. And we keep hearing, almost like very frequently every week, we keep hearing that there's one model which has come, or a newer version of a particular model has come with extended capabilities and so on. So models have evolved over a period of time. That's one. Second is that the tool connectivity has matured. So as I said, a particular agentic AI solution or an agent has the capability to integrate with those tools that we have been using for quite some time, right? So be it your ERP system, be it your SAP system, be it your mail inbox, be it your ticketing solution, be it your CMDB. So agents have the capability to integrate with these tools, fetch right and relevant information, and then make use of it just like we use it in our day-to-day life. So the tool connectivity has matured. So agent can now reliably call these APIs. They can query databases. They can trigger workflows, and they can pretty much interact with the enterprise system at runtime. Third thing that has helped this technology to evolve is there multiple safer patterns have emerged, okay, for constraint action. So guardrails have been evolved. In the earlier generation of foundation model, if you would have seen, there were multiple queries with respect to models coming up with answer which is not usually acceptable in an enterprise environment, right? So now we have this good guardrails in place. We have human in the loop checkpoints. We can pretty much do a policy-based interventions. Means we can pretty much define what an agent can do, how an agent can operate with appropriate boundaries in a real serious production enterprise environment. And with all that, the enterprise demand is also evolving, right? So now, for the last 1.5 years, if you see, the question that CIOs were actually asking is it real, is it doable, etc. Now they are asking which workflow do I automate first, right?
Yeah.
So it is moving from, as you said, from conceptualizing or POCs to production. What remains in all this gamut of things, what remains non-negotiable is a human oversight, right? A right model doesn't mean it is fully autonomous and it is working independently on its own and taking decision on its own. We call it as a progressive autonomy. You start with human in the loop with high stake decisions, and slowly as the trust build, you keep the scope or the blast radius of the agentic AI system more and more broader.
No, makes sense. Makes sense, and that totally resonates as well, Gautam. In our work line, the line between co-pilot and agent becomes clear when the AI system can execute, not merely suggest. When it does it with evidence, traceability, and clear stop conditions, which you mentioned about human review, that makes total difference. And this is also why production ready for us is less about a model, but more about orchestration, audit trails, traceability, and kind of measurable outcomes to be identified. Definitely. On that, and you mentioned about moving towards autonomous. So now, when AI moves from assistive to autonomous, the COA's role shifts from adopting tools to emerging trust across technology, risk, and operating models. Even Gartner's research suggests that AI governance platforms are becoming essential as system begins to make autonomous decisions. How should CIOs structure responsibility and accountability as agents run on its own now?
Yeah, so I think Gartner is right in its finding. We are definitely moving from assistive to autonomous systems, right? And with that, multiple things have to evolve, including the accountability and the responsibility aspect.
Hmm.
Now, at AWS, we look at it three lenses. Okay, first is the accountability model. Second is the governance capabilities. And with accountability and governance, the third thing that comes is the operational rhythm, right? I'll explain one by one. When we say accountability, I'd like to put it in a very direct way that with the usage of agents acting, accountability doesn't disappear. Okay, it simply gets redistributed. So humans will remain accountable always. Whenever in an enterprise environment agent is running, there has to be a human who has to be responsible for the overall functioning of that agent. So accountability model actually means you need a RESI, just like we do a RESI for our teams as well, where we have pretty much a human team and we have a responsibility, accountability, consulting and informed metrics with us. Similarly, for in case of agents as well, we need to have a complete RESI that is designed for autonomous systems. Okay. In that, if I break it further, so for example, ML engineers have to be accountable for the model quality. Okay, ML engineers has to be accountable for all the unbiased training of a particular model. Developers, MLOps team, they should be taking accountability of the guardrails that have been defined, the data permission that a particular agent gets. Business owners have to be accountable for approving the agents for production and doing a rigorous testing for a particular function, right? And then with all that, even if let's say something goes wrong, which we should expect at times, we definitely need a predefined incident response chain, right? Not as a post-mortem of the of an event that has already happened, but it has to be predefined from day one that how we are going to react if a particular incident happens, right? So that completes the accountability part. Then comes the governance capability, right? And as with agents, the governance is evolving, right? So we call it in AWS, we call it as a living governance flywheel, right? As I said, there are certain non-negotiables. For example, runtime policy enforcement with identified circuit breakers. Like if a particular agent behaves in a way which we have not anticipated, there has to be some circuit breakers there. Emergency shutdown procedures should be there, right? A complete agent and model inventory which you should be fully aware of. Okay, what is running and what it has access to. Audit trail, which we have been doing, today also, right? We have been doing it for quite some time, that we have, for whatever happens in your IT environment, we have a audit logs which is there safely stored in a place which is absolutely read only, and then we can go through it whenever event happens, or whenever we need to do any audit trail, right? So this is all, these are all things which basically come under the governance framework part of it. And finally we have the operational rhythm, which means that the mental model shifts, that the mental model shift which I would encourage every CIO probably is to, is this: treat your agents like a production system, okay, not as a software feature. Which means that there has to be a SRE style of reliability, engineering. So service level indicators, service level objectives, this all things have to be defined. Incident responses have to be defined. Agents should have their own identity, their own least privileges accesses, and so on and so forth, right? So the role of a particular CIO is not going to be just as a gatekeeper, but it is a full-fledged orchestrator around this whole ecosystem. And as we move forward, as the trust build, as I said, the flywheel or the governance flywheel will keep evolving.
Got it. And if I have to just kind of correlate, your flywheel is more like being continuous is very crucial and critical here.
Absolutely.
As in, the point in time audits are insufficient. It has to be a more emphasis on the runtime policy enforcement and regular monitoring of it as well. In
Absolutely.
practice, as in that means your AI governance, it can't be just a PDF that we are looking at on a regular basis. It has to be a living document which has to be updated, and our system should be kind of abiding to it on an ongoing basis. That totally makes sense, Gautam. One thing that definitely have been asked a lot of times, so a lot of pilots being done by organizations succeed, but when it comes to putting them on production or scaling them, there becomes a challenge. A lot of AI projects have been stuck at a pilot stage, never seen a day of light, which is production, because of a lot of reasons. It could be security, compliance, or managing it at scale. At AWS, as in, what's your suggestion? How what do you understand? Why do pilots stall? They don't take more production state. Why is that so?
Yeah. So at a personal level, this is probably my favorite point of discussion. We at AWS see a lot of pilots happening, particularly in the last 1.5 years, 2 years. There's a lot of pilots that has happened, and I fully agree with you that moving from pilot to production is a challenge. Okay, so there are 4 5 reasons for that. I'll quickly go through it. First and the foremost that we see here is a unclear value, business value. So what's the ROI? What is, and is it measurable, right? That's the first question that we need to ask, and that we anyway ask with respect to any application that we want to host in a typical IT environment, right? What's the intended, or what's the measurable ROI? And if the answer is vague, even in case of a GenAI or agentic AI systems, I think that's one signal that it is probably not going to work in the environment. Okay, so if you can't define success metrics before you build it, you can't justify the investment for a GenAI or agentic AI system. Second thing, which is again I would say very important, is the unsafe permissions. So when you are doing a pilot, when you are doing a POC, you typically don't bother about what permissions I have given to a particular agent, or to from a data perspective. So you build pilots fast, right? It's all greenfield, and you have just created certain agents, you have created a knowledge base, everything, you are building it fast. But as we move into production, okay, that's a security and a compliance aspect that we have to take care, right? Every agent, as I said earlier as well, every agent needs a least privilege access. Every agent has to have its own identity and a defined scope of action before it touches the production data. So unsafe permission is the second, I would say, most important factor. Third is that no evaluation harness, and by evaluation harness, I mean, all the agentic system, by the very nature of the technology, it's a non-deterministic, right? So same input can produce different outputs. So what's the way that you are testing the accuracy of a particular system? We have to rethink on that. Okay, it's not that every time you give it input X, you cannot expect output Y every time, right? So it's a range of things that we have to evaluate. We have to evaluate thousands of such scenarios, and if you have not done that, you are actually flying blind, right? And all these evaluation has to be built in from day one, not something that you just do as a step after you have put it to production. Fourth thing which is very important is from an integration point of view. I mean, every running enterprise has lots of tool, and just like any human, as I said, when you are putting an agent in place, it also has to interact with those tools and then fetch certain data and arrive at certain conclusion. But if the integrations are not smooth, if the integrations are not consistent with your, let's say, legacy ERP system, CRM system, your third party APIs, then there is a high likely that it is not going to be successful. So we need to have very consistent integration. And by the way, all these tools have different authentication models, different rate limits, different failure modes. So all these things we need to be thoughtful of from day one. Then couple of more things like observability is a very critical point. Whatever is happening in the production system, you have to have a full visibility into that. So in terms of logs, matrices, traces, it's not a nice to have feature. It's a foundation for all the trust that you build with any agentic AI system. So it has to be measurable, it has to be reliable, and it has to be traceable, most importantly. So these are a couple of factors that we see why POC, when it moves to production, these are the things that the typical issues that we need to have a more keen eye on before we put things in production.
No, I think that totally kind of understandable, and this is what is the common theme that we hear. We also kind of tried to build our hypothesis of this is what we found as in for production readiness, you need to have some bounded autonomy, as in a clear scope, what are clear stop conditions, those should be there. Evidence and reasoning has to be in place, why it happened, why this result was shown. Right exception handling should be in place, and lastly, the most important, human have to be in check, in control of that. So I think that resonates for every organization. Similar kind of if guardrails are in place, we'll have more production ready systems for agentic AI solutions. And also we also need to think from a perspective that it needs a structural shift also. It was earlier AI in the loop, now kind of AI is running the loop, so it has to have these right guardrails in place. And we have kind of built a similar kind of an accelerator, and which we would want to also demonstrate, kind of focusing on these 3-4 areas, and that's how we can kind of take it ahead from just a chatbot running in black box to a kind of full-fledged AI agentic solution. That's before we move into our demo. I would want to have a quick poll on the screen just to understand for people as audience, what are their biggest barrier in case they want to take something into production. Okay, we've started seeing some responses coming in. Wait for another 10 seconds for people to respond before we move forward. And kind of as expected, the responses are kind of mixed bag here. All right, we'll move forward. And thank you for your responses. I'm hopeful with this session you'll have some clarity how to navigate through these challenges, and that can help you in moving things from a POC stage to more production ready systems. With that, I will now call upon Himani to talk briefly about our GenAI competency and walk us through a demo along with Nitin.
Oh, thank you, Divyanshu. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the session once again. It's great to see so many of you joining us today. Um, Nitin, can you please pull up the screen? I would like to start by briefly sharing how we have structured our GenAI competency at Tooth and Nail. All right, we can move to the next slide, Nitin. Yeah, thank you. Okay. An year ago, most of the conversations about AI were about prompts and chatbots. However, today the conversations have actually shifted to something which is much bigger: AI systems that can reason, orchestrate workflows, and take decisions across enterprise environments. That's the promise of agentic AI. The real challenge is making it work reliably at scale. At To the New, our focus has been on helping organizations bridge that gap, moving from isolated GenAI experiments to production-grade systems that deliver measurable business value. How do we approach to this? We approach this through three core pillars. First one is enabling AI adoption across team, be it engineers, architects, business users, everyone across organization is actually using AI. Second, accelerating delivery through pre-built agentic frameworks and reusable components that reduce time to value and move projects beyond proof of concepts. And the third one is scaling through enterprise-grade architecture, including RAG pipelines, LLM ops, observability, and governance to ensure that these systems are secure, reliable, and production-ready. Now let us apply that to a real enterprise challenge. If I ask you a question that across your organization, what all tools do you use? Then the answer might be that your teams rely on multiple tools: email, ticketing systems like Jira, calendars, analytics dashboards, and spend significant time coordinating across these systems just to complete a single request. Aira is an answer to this. Nitin, we can move to the next one. Yeah. Aira is a multi-agent AI operations personal assistant that acts as a single conversational interface across enterprise systems. Before we actually jump into demo and we see Aira in action, let me quickly walk you through Aira. How does Aira actually work? So everything starts with a simple user request in a natural language. Instead of navigating multiple systems like emails, Jira, calendars, the user simply asks Aira for what they need. For example, something like scheduling a meeting with your team, pull the latest Jira report, and share it over email with your leadership team. At the center of the system is Aira, the AI operations assistant. It understands the requests, breaks it down into tasks, and determines what actions needed to be executed. Once the intent is understood, the parent agent that you see in the center of the slide acts as an orchestrator. It decomposes the requests into smaller tasks and dynamically delegates them to specialized agents. Each of these specialized agents handles a specific capability. For example, a communication agent manages emails or messages. A scheduling agent, it handles your calendars and meetings. An analytics agent, it retrieves and analyzes your data, and so on and so forth. Now, these agents interact directly with your enterprise systems, such as emails, spreadsheet, you can say any other tool that you might be using. What is the key idea here? The key idea here is that multiple agents work together autonomously, coordinating across tools to complete the workflow. So while we will be demonstrating this in an operations context today, the same architecture can be extended across domain, customer support, HR, finance, compliance, sales, and beyond. With that, I would like to hand it over to Nitin to see Aira in action.
Thank you, Iman.
The ambassador. Remember to avoid the use of lift. Your attention, please.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So managing business tasks is often requires switching between the multiple applications. This can be the time consuming and distracting. Aira changes that. It allows you to run your business and a professional task directly from the WhatsApp, Telegram, or any messaging app without opening multiple applications. So now let's see Aira in action. For this demonstration, we are using the WhatsApp, but it can be also run on the Telegram or any messaging app. Okay. So this is the UI for the Aira. So here you can see what Aira can do. It can do the multiple tasks and it is customizable as per the user's requirement. So for this demonstration purpose, we are using the Jira and the Salesforce to see the Aira action. Okay, so let's take a common scenario. Imagine you stuck on a project and suddenly remember you need to create a Jira ticket. Normally, you would have to go your computer, open Jira. This will be a time-consuming task. Now, how Aira can delegate this task? So you don't need to open any application or computer. You just give a simple command to the Aira from your WhatsApp, and it will automatically handle the Jira board activities. Now let's see. So I'm just giving a command to Aira, and it will create a ticket for me. Aira, can you please create a ticket AWS glue job migration to S3 files? So now you can see, first it will understand the intent, what exactly user want to do. So user give a command to Aira, I want to create a ticket on Jira board. So as Himani explained, there is a multi-agent system. The parent agent is the Aira. Aira will first understand the intent of the user. So user want to create a ticket on the Jira board. So it connected to the Jira and create a Jira ticket on the board. As you can see, it's revert you the TTN26 AWS glue job migration to S3 files. So now when I refresh my board, you can see the TTN26 is created on the Jira board. Now still it is unassigned. I just give a simple command to the Aira, assign this ticket to a specific user. So now let's see. Aira, can you please assign TTN26 to Nitin Verma? So now what Aira will do, it will go to your board and will identify the ticket number TTN26 and it will assign the user. I specify here the user name is Nitin Verma. So first of all, it will go to the dashboard, go to the database and search out for the Nitin Verma and respective user ID for the same. And then it will allocate that ticket to Nitin Verma. So now just refresh this board. Okay, now you can see the TTN26 is assigned to the Nitin Verma. So this is the basic functionality of Aira. Now let's say you want to inform Nitin Verma, this is the high priority task and you are stuck somewhere. So you don't need to personally call to Nitin Verma. You just give a command to the Aira. Aira will automatically call to Nitin Verma and give the status of TTN26 or any ticket that you want to describe. Okay, just see that in action. Aira, can you please call Nitin Verma and ask the status of TTN26? Okay, and just give him the soft reminder. It should be completed by end of this month because this is the high priority ticket. Now what Aira will do, Aira first understand the intent, what user want. So the parent agent, it will now delegate a task to the calling agent. So calling agent will understand first who is Nitin Verma and what is the mobile number of Nitin Verma, and then it will make a phone call to Nitin Verma. It will just take a few seconds, then you will get a phone call on your mobile. Now you can see, I got a phone call. Now just enjoy the conversation between Aira and Nitin.
Aira, hope you're having a good day. I'm just calling for a quick update on your work status.
Hi Aira, good morning.
Good morning, Nitin. Thanks for picking up. I was looking at the board and wanted to check in on the TTN26 Aira ticket. Just a soft reminder. The completion deadline's coming up soon. How's that coming along?
Yeah, I'm working on that and most probably it will be completed by the given deadline.
Good to hear, Nitin. Sounds like you're on track. Are you running into any issues or is everything moving smoothly so far?
Yeah, everything moving smoothly so far.
Great, glad to hear it. That's all I needed for now. Thanks for the update, Nitin. I'll let the team know.
Yeah.
Have a productive rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Aira. So okay, so now it conversate with me because I asked Aira to call Nitin Verma. So now this is the conversation. Now Aira will summarize the entire conversation and will revert you back what is happening between Aira and Nitin Verma. So just wait for a few seconds and you will get the conversation summary for the same. Meanwhile, just move this ticket into the progress state. So I just give a command to the Aira. Aira, can you please move TTN 26 to the progress state? Okay, so now it again understand the intent and it will move this TTN 26 ticket to the progress state. Now meanwhile you get the conversation summary. The conversation was between the assistant Aira and Nitin. It give you the entire conversation summary, what is happening between Nitin and Aira during that conversation. So now meanwhile I'll also give a command, TTN 26 has been moved to the in progress state. Now you can see this is in the to do state. Now just refresh it. Okay, now you can see the AWS Glue migration job TTN 26 is moved to the in progress state. Now open this. Okay, you can see the comment what is happening between Aira and Nitin. It also write the comment as per the conversation over here. So this is very soft introduction about the Jira task. Now let's move for the Salesforce. It also connected with your Salesforce account. Aira, can you please bring the Salesforce account details? So now I switch from Jira to Salesforce. Now parent agent will understand the intent what user want now. So right now the user wants to connect with the Salesforce account. So Aira will connect through the Salesforce account and it will bring out all the accounts which are available on your Salesforce account. Now you can see here I have the 3 accounts, the TTN, United Oil and Gas Corporation. As you can see, I got the account details here. Now let's suppose you want to create an opportunity under any of the account. You don't need to move on your Salesforce account. You just give a command to the Aira. Aira, can you please create the opportunity under TTN account named as AWS migration to the S3 buckets? So now what will be happen? It will first understand what user want. So now it will first identify the TTN account name and under that account, it will create the opportunity as per suggested by the user. So when we are creating the opportunity on the Salesforce account, 2 things are mandatory. One is the stage and another one is the closing date. But here, as you can see, I didn't describe the staging and the closing date. It automatically by default taking as a prospecting the stage of that particular opportunity and tentative closing date is 11th of April 2026. As you can see, it is automatically considering closing for the next month. So you can also provide these 2 things while creating your opportunity under the TTN account. Now let's move for the opportunities. Here the opportunity name is AWS migration to the S3 bucket. Okay, now you can see the AWS migration to the S3 bucket, the TTN under the TTN account, and the closing date is by default of this one, the 11th of April 2026. Yeah, this is the very soft demonstration of the Aira, but yes, it can be customizable as per the user requirement. You can integrate the multiple APIs as well as per the organization or as per the user. So that's it for this demo. Now I hand over to Himani to walk through us. Himani, thank you.
Much, Nitin. It was great to see Aira in action. So all of you, what you have just seen is not just an AI assistant. It's a production-grade multi-agent system designed to orchestrate real enterprise workflows. We would be happy to explore how similar agentic systems could be tailored to your organization's specific needs. With that said, I would like to hand it over to Divyanshu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Himani and Nitin, for that demonstration, and it worked pretty well. For everyone watching, I hope you found that interesting. We will take your questions at the end. We still have few more topics to discuss with Gautam. So Gautam, again, back to you. One theme that comes up repeatedly is evaluation. It's no longer enough to say it seems correct. And even Forrester analysis notes that ensuring agent behavior is reliable, but can be costly and complex, especially in regulated environments. How should enterprise treat evaluation and reliability as a core production requirement?
Absolutely, Divyanshu. I think evaluation is a very critical aspect of whenever we talk about any agentic AI or a GenAI application to put in a as I keep repeatedly saying, real serious production enterprise environment. And what Forrester has found now, probably we have found it, in a more harder way, right? Doing it ourselves and seeing that where things can go wrong. So basically at AWS, we have built and evaluated, of course, thousands of agents, right, at the scale of Amazon. And I would say the evaluation framework, the way we put it, is 3 layers. Okay, one is our evaluation strategy must be, first of all, it has to be treated for scale. Okay, so automated testing for scale, you need to run thousands of scenarios systematically. Whatever is you think that could be possible, you must test it. That's one. What tool that you select for testing also matters. you know uh, uh, then what's the task completion rate, what's the reasoning coherence, what are the safety boundaries. We have to test all these small things. Statistical sampling of the production traffic is very important. So we can't simulate the whole production traffic, right? But then we can always take a sample of that and test how it works, how it is working, and how it is behaving. And then, as I keep repeatedly saying, for high risk tasks, we need to have a human review in place, right? We define it in a way of one-way door decision or a two-way door decision, right? There's some decisions that you rely on an agentic AI system, which is a two-way door, which is kind of reversible action. But then there are certain decisions that are one-way door decision. To give you a very small example, for example, claim reimbursements, right? There are many insurance companies that rely on this agentic AI solution for approving the claims. Now, if it has approved and without a human intervention, if it goes to a end customer, it will basically be a one-way door decision, right? Once you have said that okay, your claim is approved, then you can't undo it, right? So all these things needs to be tested, and wherever we think that there is a one-way door decision happening, we must keep a human in the loop. So that's the first layer. Second layer is where we say that the treat agent workflows like software. Means as I think in the previous question also I said, this means that we have to test harness it before deployment, right? All regression suits should run on every update. We should always be very careful in monitoring the drift detection, not only after GenAI, even when we used to have traditional ML systems in place, when we used to use, for example, Amazon SageMaker to create a model and then deploy it, then we used to have very it basically drifts from its original baseline performance with respect to time, right? So we need to have a very close monitoring of the drift that the model is showing. And for doing that, we first need to have a baseline established, right? That okay, this is my baseline. Let's say my baseline is 98% accuracy, and then we can monitor the drift with respect to that. And third is that we should risk tier, right, our evaluations. So for example, as I said, there are certain decisions which are like one-way door decision. They are very high risk in nature, but not every use case that a particular agentic AI application touches is equal risky, right? For example, smaller application which basically does a text summarization, for example, right? Now a likelihood of it going wrong is equally as high as any other agentic system, but then it's a reversible, and we can, so that's a lower risk, right? But the example that I gave, that's a very high risk decision. So we have to risk tier our own findings, and then accordingly we should evaluate our system. So primarily these are the things, testing at scale. We should treat our agent workflows like software, and then third is we have to risk tier our evaluation intensity.
Yep. And that's how we also guide our clients with risk tiering, read only but high utility systems, where agent's job is not just to retrieve and explain with evidence, then move to action taking agents when right monitoring rollback plans are in place. So definitely that's what we do. And in interest of time, while I had few more questions for you, Gautam, we'll have to move to the next section where
Sure.
we wanted to definitely give a view on how someone quickly can start and what is the base use case someone can implement in their industry. And for that, I have Ankit from our team who will give you a quick demo on something that we have been able to build and is currently readily available in production as well. So, Ankit, over to you.
Thanks, Devyanshu. You're absolutely right. So, I would say knowledge discovery we have been talking about, and it is often the safest and the fastest way for organizations to start operationalizing AI. Now, most companies actually don't have a data problem. They have a where on earth is that data problem. Information you might see is scattered across documents, portals, PDF, wikis, dashboards, basically everywhere, except the place where someone is actually looking for it. And the result is something that we have experienced. You search for something simple, open 5 tabs, then 10 tabs, and somewhere along the way you forget what you're actually searching for in the first place. So the real challenge isn't generating more AI, it's helping people find the right knowledge quickly and safely. So rather than me talking too much about it, I'll let the demo do most of the talking. So let me just quickly share my screen. Okay. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is Infinite AI, which we have launched on our website in January 2026. Think it of as a AI-enabled enterprise search and reasoning layer that turns the scattered knowledge into actionable answers. The idea is simple. Instead of searching across 10 pages, opening 15 tabs and forgetting why you opened half of them, you just ask the system directly. So let me just ask one of the questions to it. What services does do the new offer in AI? Let me just search. So what's happening behind the scene is a small agentic loop. The system first understands the intent, sometimes even corrects the query, searches for the right context and generates an answers with the citations that are quite visible. Now what makes it really this agentic is the reflexive loop at its core. That's the agentic pattern we have been using in this particular solution. The agent just only doesn't retrieve and respond. It actually reasons over each step of the process. It interprets your query, classifies the intent, searches the relevant knowledge, and generates the grounded answers. And then it reflects on what it has just produced to suggest the meaningful questions. So in a single cycle, if you see, it's essentially perceiving, reasoning, acting, and then adapting. Now you see the responses that have come in here. So if you would have noticed, it is concise, it's grounded, and it's linked to the sources. So the people can actually navigate to instead of further blindly trusting the AI, which is important because most enterprises like AI, but they like trustworthy AI even more. Now this is where reflexive part becomes visible. The system reflects on what it has generated and suggests follow-up questions automatically. So I'll just move on to this part. You might see the follow-up questions that has been coming up. So instead of users knowing what should I search next, it has already been recommending you. The system actually guides the exploration itself. And the philosophy behind this infinite AI is the bounded intelligence that we have been talking about. It gives you useful answers within the knowledge discovery boundaries without hallucinating beyond what it actually knows. Now let me try one more question quickly to see its conversational pattern. Now, while this runs, I'll just point out the goal here isn't to replace the existing system. It's to sit on the top of enterprise knowledge and make it discoverable in seconds instead of minutes. So that's infinite AI, I would say, a practical way to turn scattered knowledge into the actionable intelligence and hopefully also save people from opening 20 browser tabs every morning. Now, what you have seen is Just an example of how bounded knowledge agents can deliver immediate value. And this same architecture can be extended across your internal systems, domains, workflows. If this resonates something with your priorities, we would love to continue the conversation after the session. And with this particular demo, I will hand it over to Divyanshu to take it forward.
Thank you, Ankit, for the demo, and I hope everyone in the audience found it useful. For people just getting started with GenAI use cases, this could be a straightforward entry point, as I mentioned at the start of it. While we have opened the chat for questions, before we start, just one last poll, and then we'll take up the questions one by one. What kind of support would be most valuable as your organization moves towards production ready agentic AI? Okay. I think we are seeing some responses still coming in, and it's kind of a mixed bag here. Identifying the right workflows is what we see a lot of people looking for. And we'll move forward. Thank you for your responses. Now it's your turn to ask questions. The chat window is open, and we are anyway seeing few questions, and one of them has come up. How quickly can I start using Aira if we decide tomorrow? Himani,
Take that up, Divyanshu. Thank you for the question, and it's good to see your interest in Aira. In most cases, organizations can start using Aira within a few weeks. The way we begin is identifying a focused use case, connect Aira to the relevant systems such as email, calendar, or CRM maybe you are using, and your project tools, and configure the agents around that workflow. Because Aira is built on an integration-first architecture and connects through APIs, the initial setup is actually relatively quick. From there, you can gradually expand it to additional processes and systems. I hope I've answered that question.
Sure. Next, I think, was the Infinite AI a simple RAG app, or was it entirely an AI agent? Ankit, would you want to take that up?
Sure. Thanks, Divyanshu. While we began up thinking that it should be a RAG app, but we'll eventually have to move it to the complete agentic AI, I would say, because it was a bounded knowledge agent, I would say, for the website discovery. RAG has certain demerits. It will only give you the top K chunks, whether you do re-ranking and other stuff. However, we wanted the complete information in one go. So that's where we have tried to use agentic AI. In this place, where there are multiple agents sitting up, checking on the, let's say, what it can fetch the information from the knowledge discovery. One agent is verifying those information. One is working on the guardrails, whether you are if you ask any other query out of this knowledge, bounded knowledge, it shouldn't work on the spot. So multiple agents running in parallel to give you an answer within.
Got it. One of the questions that has come across is, what about integration of Microsoft tools in Aira? And I think Himani...
Absolutely doable, Chandan. We can talk about it, how it can be done, but that is something which is actually doable.
Got it. I think there is one more coming in. So if we want to start in next 90 days, what do you recommend as the safest and high impacting entry point in using agentic AI?
Yeah. Should I take that?
Yeah, please. Absolutely, Gautam. Go ahead.
Perfect. I think three things, right? Three clear action items. First, pick up a use case or a workflow which is like high frequency and a bounded workflow. Okay, don't start with very most complex task. Start with something that you think that where the success is achievable or the automation is achievable in, let's say, a couple of days. Well documented. Pick up those use cases which are like where the step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are more clearly defined. And build on that. That's one. Second thing is that get all the identity permissions logging, right before you deploy. So be very absolutely clear, absolutely documented in terms of what are the identity and privilege access you are providing to the agents, with respect to the data. Keep the audit trail very lean and very clean. And these are all we have to do anyway. I mean, this is not something which is optional. And third, over and above everything, define your success metrics, right? What's the ROI we are looking at? And define it from day one. So if we have picked up the right use case, if we have set the right boundaries, identities, permission, etc., and if we define our success metrics, I think we can start in the 90-day journey with our first success.
Got one interesting question that has come up: how can I use models in my agent? Is it better to use AWS Bedrock or Open Router? So, Gautam, is that something that? Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think if you look at Bedrock as a platform, right? Our whole intent was to provide a choice to the users. So on Bedrock itself, if you see, it's like 30 plus different types of models that we have, including open source models, commercial model available, Amazon's own models, and then there are many open weight models, everything. So Bedrock is the right place where you can go and check for different models and try and test it out. And then on top of it, from a best practices perspective, I think again there is a whole range of best practice documentations, reference architectures, benchmarks are anyway available to you. So just leverage that and use different models, depending on what workload you want to test out.
As we all are learning, there is a question from someone who wants to understand that he has been trained on LangChain framework for building RAG and agents. Any suggestions what to do next? Ankit, maybe that you can suggest what could be the best way forward.
Yeah, definitely. There are multiple orchestration frameworks, LangGraph, LangChain. Maybe I would say getting more acquainted with the other frameworks that are available, so that you can act as a strategic consultant, what framework to use in which scenario, how quickly you can move your POCs to the production. So unless and until you have that comparison in mind, it would be very difficult to move ahead. So I would say exploring and trying out multiple things at time, because generative AI has been moving at a very fast pace. So that would be my key takeaway on that part.
Before we kind of close, just one last question that I want to pick up, but for others, we'll definitely reach out to you over emails with the right responses. What architectural patterns do you recommend for building production-ready agentic systems that integrate with existing enterprise analytics and machine learning pipelines? So, Ankit, you want to take that up?
Definitely. Multiple questions being linked up here. So when we look at the agentic AI patterns, so there are multiple agentic AI patterns. You have planner, retrieval agents, you have React frameworks that are available. You have reflexive agent, which we have been talking about. It depends upon the use case, definitely, I would say, but the question is right away. The ask is right, that you don't need to have complete agentic AI, or let's say GenAI based solution. You might need to have some blend of machine learning and generative AI involved, so that you can cut up the cost as well and other parts as well. So my ask here would be, don't just rely directly on all the agentic AI work, or let's say LLM doing all the work. You will be then struggling with the latency part and other stuff. What you need to fix out is what task. There are different factors that needs to be taken into consideration, like cost, how deterministic your model is, what is the kind of performance that you need to do. Multiple things that needs to be taken into consideration while integrating the generative AI into the existing, let's say, dashboard and other. And then you can have on the top of it multiple use cases, like you have been using machine learning platforms. So can you do the feature engineering part using your LLMs? Or let's say if it's a ad tech industry for which you have been working on, can you scrape the website using your agents and then extract features from these agents using LLMs and feed this into your machine learning model? So that's the kind of framework you should be looking into as a holistic picture.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the questions and all responses. We will definitely reach out to the remaining questions considering the time that we have. Thank you all for joining us today. If there is one takeaway It's this Agentic AI is not a single tool, it's an operating capability that blends orchestration, governance, evaluation, human accountability. 2026 is the year for leaders to stop asking, can we pilot? Start asking, can we run it safely, repeatedly, and measurably? On behalf of To The New and AWS, thank you, and we look forward to continue the conversation offline with anyone who wants to explore production-ready pathways. See you again at our future events. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.